Welcome to Lesson 28, arguably the most important word you'll ever type in a Linux terminal. Meet Tom. He wants to install Nginx, so he types apt install Nginx, and Linux flatly refuses. Why? Because installing software writes to system directories like etc. and usr, bin, places owned by root. Tom isn't root, but he is in the sudo group, which gives him the right to temporarily borrow root's powers just for one command. So what exactly happens when Tom types sudo? Linux briefly elevates him to SuperUser, runs that single command as if root were typing, then quietly drops him back to normal. Two things have to line up. He must be listed in the sudoers file, usually through the sudo or wheel group, and he has to confirm with his own password, not root's. And here's the elegant part. Every sudo invocation is logged. You get the power when you need it, accountability when you use it, and protection from your own catastrophic mistakes the rest of the time. Now let's see it in action. Try running apt update on its own and Linux slams the door, permission denied because regular users can't touch system packages. Add sudo in front and everything changes. Linux prompts for your password, you type it blind. No asterisks, no dots, that's normal. And the command runs. Then watch what happens next. Sudo apt install Nginx runs without asking again because sudo cached your authentication for about 15 minutes. The pattern never changes. Sudo first, then the command, then its arguments. But sudo isn't just one command. It comes in 3 flavors, and picking the right one matters. The first, plain sudo command, is your daily driver. One task, root privileges, then back to normal. The second, sudo u alice, lets you run something as a specific user, perfect for testing permissions or stepping into a service account. The third, sudo I, opens a full root shell, useful when you've got many admin tasks in a row. And here's the rule of thumb. Prefer one shot. More sudo prompts mean a cleaner audit trail and fewer accidents. So how do you know in the moment whether sudo is needed? Here's the pattern. If you're working inside your own home folder, editing files, running your own scripts, checking who you are, you don't need it. But the moment you reach into system territory, installing packages, editing anything in, etc., restarting services, or touching files you don't own, sudo is required. The litmus test is beautifully simple. Is this file in my home folder? If yes, no sudo. If no, probably sudo. And if you hit permission denied, that's your cue to retry with sudo. Let's see this in action. Tom needs a working Nginx web server and he walks through it like a professional. First, he confirms he's in the sudo group with a quick groups check. He is. Then comes the update. Sudo apt update. Password prompt appears. He types it once. Next, installing Nginx. Notice no password prompt this time because sudo cached his credentials for a few minutes. Finally, sudo systemctl start Nginx, a quick curl to localhost, and there it is. Welcome to Nginx. 3 privileged commands, 1 password, server live. But with that power comes a serious warning. Combine sudo with rm, rf, and you've built the single most dangerous command in Linux because sudo removes every safety wall the system normally puts in your way. Picture this. You type sudo rm rrf unset var something, but the variable is empty. What actually runs is sudo rm rrf something at the root of your file system. This isn't theoretical. In 2016, Steam's Linux client did exactly that and wiped users' home directories. The fix is discipline, pause before pressing enter, read the command character by character, and for mass deletes, run ls first to preview what's actually there. 5 seconds of caution beats days of recovery. Now that you respect the danger, let's see where sudo really shines, alongside its 3 closest partners. First, the package managers, apt and dnf. Installing, removing, or updating software always needs sudo, and this is where most beginners first meet it. Second, systemctl, the service controller, starting, stopping, or restarting Nginx, MySQL, or SSHD all require sudo too. And third, su, which we'll dig into next lesson, for those moments when sudo isn't enough and you need to fully become another user, environment and all. Time to get your hands on the keyboard safely. Start by checking whether you even have sudo rights. Type groups, grep sudo, and if you see sudo in the output, you're in the club. Next, try a read-only elevation with sudo cat, etc. shadow. It'll ask for your password and reveal a file normally hidden from regular users. Finally, run sudo va followed by sudo woami. The first refreshes your cache, the second confirms you've truly become root. No damage done, just real experience. And that wraps up sudo. Admin powers, yours to borrow, one command at a time. Up next in Lesson 29, we meet su, the older sibling. Instead of borrowing power for a single command, you fully become another user, their shell, their environment, their identity. After that, only umask stands between you and complete permissions mastery. See you in Lesson 29.